Good morning, dear students. Greetings and good wishes to you all. I always wish for your good health and beautiful smile. Let's break the chain and stop this spread. We need to tell our beloved ones that we care them and we love them a lot. We need to protect ourselves and all those around us by breaking the chain and preventing the spread of the COVID-19 virus during this challenging time. Get vaccinated at the first opportunity. Simple precautions will keep us all secure. Kindly follow all the guidelines. Now it's time to wake up and mask up. Stay home and break the chain. With this, I shall begin my today's lecture talk on Introduction to Industrial Biotechnology, continuation, tropophase, idiophase, quality, and then quality assurance and packaging. Okay. Now let us go through the two phases, that is tropophase and idiophase during the fermentation process. During the growth process in the fermenter, the organism goes through two phases. One is the tropophase, other one is idiophase. Okay. So in the fermenter, when nutrient supply is very abundant and the organisms grows at very rapid rate by producing primary metabolites, which are necessary for the growth process of the organism in the fermenter vessel. Now, what is this primary metabolite? Primary metabolite is a kind of metabolite that is directly involved in normal growth, development, and reproduction. Okay, it usually performs a physiological functions in the organism. That is, it's an intrinsic function. What are the examples of primary metabolites like carbon source, nitrogen source, amino acids, etc., which come as a primary metabolites? When these primary metabolites will be produced? When the fermenter with the plenty of nutrient supply, that time primary metabolites will be produced. Okay, primary metabolites are the products of main pathway of metabolism, which is a part of growth and essential for the functions of the organism. Okay, without these primary metabolites, the organisms cannot survive. Primary metabolites produced in the tropophase when nutrients are in plenty or in abundant. That is in the beginning stage, or how in the beginning, if there is the fermenter processing technology people, if they provide huge nutrient, they keep on giving the nutrients in the fermenter vessels, studying the nutrients, then there will be only a tropophase will be there. Okay, there won't be any kind of production of the product or secondary metabolites. So when nutrient supply is very abundant, in the fermenter vessel, you can see only the growth, development, and reproduction of the microorganisms. Okay. When nutrient supply is exhausted or deficient, that time the organisms will start producing the secondary metabolites. Okay. Majority of the products which are obtained from microbial fermentations are secondary metabolites. Okay, secondary metabolites like alkaloids and some of the other higher proteins which comes under as a secondary metabolites. All the products which are obtained are of secondary metabolites. So let us go through what is this idiophase. This idiophase comes when growth stops, when growth of the microorganism stops due to the exhaustion of nutrients and the organisms start producing secondary metabolites. Okay, this secondary metabolites is very, very important at the end of the production process. Okay, for example, this production of secondary metabolites, which is very complex molecule requiring large number of reactions to produce one particular product. For example, for the production of these tetracycline antibiotic, during the EDO phase, there are around 72 reaction will happen. Then that particular product tetracycline will form. Okay, note, products of secondary metabolites are not required for growth of the organisms. Okay, products of primary metabolites or metabolism products can serve as a source for secondary metabolism. So this is all about the tropophase and idiophase. Now let us go through here the scale-up process. The scale-up process begins after the establishment of production of a new valuable useful products by organisms at the laboratory level. It means at the laboratory level, any production process will be done at the pilot plant, for example, shake culture flask, then that will be taken to the higher capacity. Okay, the shake culture flasks, which are good producers but stop fermenting in large volume of the broth capacities of 4,000 liters and more than that. So one has to do the scale up process of the microorganisms. One has to see whether the organisms can grow better in the pilot plant or in the larger scale. Okay, some of the organisms will be there, they'll give the best yield in the pilot plant of the fermenter. When the same organism subjected to the higher fermenter vessel with the higher large volume, that time what happens, organisms will undergo stress and they're unable to produce the product. So one has to standardize that one through scale up process. Here now let us understand what is bioprocess optimization. Bioprocess optimization is a methodology of finding out optimal condition for the best yield of a product under industrial conditions. Okay, so to obtain the products at the industrial level at the larger scale, one has to find out all the optimal conditions for the best yield. That is, we need to focus on this upstream processing and the downstream processing for to obtain the product at the higher yield. And this particular bioprocess optimization and the scale-up process both are very challenging tasks and requires experts to design the methodology of USP and DSP and also the scale-up process. Okay, I already told why this is a challenging task, because some of the organisms can grow better in the medium-sized vessel, that is pilot plant of 5,000 to 10,000 liters or less than 5,000 liters. But the same organisms are unable to give a very good yield when those are subjected to the higher fermenter vessels. Then what are the problems can be seen in the fermenters? Okay, the major problem in the fermenter is that when the volume is more for a given surface area, then the transfer of the gas becomes very difficult. Okay, and as industrial products are the results of aerobic fermentations, proper oxygen transfer in the broth is very essential for the good yield. Okay, so the transfer of gas aeration is very important in the fermenter vessel. In the small fermenter vessel, one can manage that aeration, whereas in large fermenter vessel, it is very, very difficult to manage the aeration and it requires huge economy. And fluid dynamic studies have to be conducted with the help of bioengineers. Okay, and this particular work, which is a collaborative endeavor, it means here the scale-up process is the process of taking technology from lab to the fermenter through the pilot plant. So whatever the pilot plant in smaller volume, what we are growing, no, that would be compulsory subjected to the higher level. It means in the scale-up process, we'll think about the volume, in which particular capacity the organisms will be able to grow better. Okay, then we'll think about, then later the people will think about the designing the large fermenter. After bioprocess optimization, one will think about this particular designing of the fermenter. And the designing of the fermenter, it's a collaborative endeavor between the microbiologist and the bioengineer for the optimization. Then they'll think about the bioprocess optimization. As I told, this is a very collaborative endeavor. And pilot plant can be designed depending on the products to a suitable size. When we think about all that scale-up process and the bioprocess optimization, one can overcome from all the disadvantage of the larger fermenter vessel. Okay? While designing the fermenter vessel, one should also have the fluid dynamic studies that will be conducted with the help of the bioengineers. Okay, and it's a collaborative endeavor. The product and its recovery. Fermenter with huge capacities should be designed with the optimal environment conditions to produce maximum yield of the products. The final product will be mixed with numerous other chemicals like live and dead microbial cells. So from all these unwanted products, we need to recover our desired product at the industrial level. The process of recovery of the product in the pure form in the final, that is very important in the final which is the final step, and it's called downstream processing, which includes number of separation techniques such as centrifugation, filtration, ultracentrifugation, and different chromatography techniques we can apply over there. Okay. So in the downstream processing, the purification will be done through a gel filtration, ion exchange chromatography, affinity chromatography, then hydrophobic interactions, then HPLC we can apply. Even some of these, by using the solvent, we can go for separation of the broth by solids and liquids. That is, we have solid liquid separation, liquid liquid separation, then extraction in concentration form, evaporation, liquid liquid extraction, the membrane filtration, precipitation, absorption, and even the drying, freeze drying, crystallization, many processes that can be done in the downstream processing. Okay, now let us go through the quality assurance and packaging. Here in this quality assurance, we need to focus on quality control, then quality assurance, then ISO certification, then about the packaging. Okay, so now first, what is this quality? Quality means that is meeting the requirement. And this meeting the requirement can be observed in the almost all the products. For example, in the pharmaceutical condition, the pharmaceutical product will be subject for the some of the specifications, and developing system for certain materials to be tested or evaluated with reference to specifications. So what are the specification can be observed in the pharmaceutical condition, like what kind of chemicals or what kind of drugs, and specification for each quality, like their product specific gravity, color, odor, taste, solubility, then antimicrobial spectrum, their toxicity and hydrogen ion concentration, and also that will be followed through specified values or standards have to be met when they are producing that particular product. So they should also meet the requirements of the society. Then quality control. What is this quality control? It is a technique and activities or methodology used to fulfill the requirement. Okay. Then the quality also deals with the ISO, that is Indian Standard. Sorry, this ISO, that is International Organization for Standardization. This ISO is an international, a non-governmental organization based on Geneva, Switzerland, okay? And it is dedicated to developing voluntary standards and that ensure product safety and quality while encouraging the innovations in a global marketplace. So that particular quality of the product should satisfy the ISO. ISO with all the fields can be observed, and that ISO with sets standards. Okay, all this whatever the product will be produced through industrial biotechnology, that should follow the guidelines of ISO standards. Except electricals and electronics, we can see all the ISO sets. Then what is this quality assurance? This quality assurance is a well-planned and systemic action taken by the industry to produce adequate confidence to the user that product meets the standards and requirements. Okay, and this quality assurance development which are attached to each industry, which oversees all the aspects of research and development. It means all the research body will be connected with the this quality assurance development. What is this quality assurance? The quality assurance is a well-planned systemic action, right? That will be taken by the every industry which will maintain all the profile of their product quality. Okay, and they should give enough confidence to the society, and they should also meet all the standards and the requirements of ISO. This quality assurance development, which is attached to each and every industry, which oversees all the aspects of research and development. Okay, manufacture and quality control, right? So this what are the product will be there? That product processing and the quality assurance, okay, quality control, everything will be absorbed by the quality assurance department. And there we can call those as research and development, that is R&D. So R&D will look after about all the meeting the requirements of the society. Okay. Further, what the products of like chemicals or drug which are manufactured by a particular process are generally five variables. Okay, each product has to go through these five variables like labels, packaging materials, raw materials, in-process items, and finished products. Okay, so all these variables vary depending on the inputs of that particular industry. In-process items and finished products which are not that were not taken care by the other person, or that cannot be go through the quality controlling people, only one has to go through what kind of in process items and finished products are there, that will be looked after by the R&D department. When we take here the labels, packaging, raw materials which are purchased by the manufacturer are less likely to be tested for chemical and microbiological properties, whereas there the type of material used for labels and nature of ink, a type of print, or type of glue that used should be decided with care, because the products will be exported from one place to other place. The type of the print, what they are going to type, all that particular message or the quality of the print, that play a very important role. One has to decide with care. Okay. Further, the packaging for tablets, powders, liquids, bulk drugs, and bulk enzymes require different assembly lines and different specifications they'll follow. Even sometimes if they want the robots for the packaging, they can also use the robots. Robotics can be observed in some of the industry in packaging. Bulk products are usually lyophilized and packaged in glass jars which are adequately sealed. Okay, the final packed item should be tested for sterility and the fill volume, that is quantity, quality, and purity. Okay, what is this lyophilization? This lyophilization is one of the best method for long-term preservation and of microorganisms, that is in this lyophilization will be done in the freeze drying, okay, by using the some of the cryopreservative thing. This can also be known as cryodesiccation, okay, cryodesiccation. This can be also known, this particular lyophilization process can also be known as cryopreservation or cryodesiccation. Okay, the commonly used cryoprotective agents are like skim milk, sucrose. Okay, then even one can use some serum, sugar, etc. can be used over here. Here, we are going to perform freeze drying. It means before freeze drying, cells or spores are suspended in a protective media, okay, in a small glass ampules aseptically. The ampules are then placed in freezing mixture like dry ice and ethyl acetate, and after freezing, that will be connected with freeze drying apparatus, okay, which is known as lyophilizer, and that will be worked till it completely dry. Then the ampules are sealed under vacuum. So that is about the lyophilization. Just keep in your mind, the lyophilization is one of the best preservating technique, okay, which will be used for the preservation of long term. And the technically is known as lyophilization or cryodesiccation by using cryoprotective agents. Finally, it is also important for the industry to maintain all the scientific documents for each chemicals and drug of that is manufactured by that particular company. Okay, thank you everyone. This is all about introduction to industrial biotechnology. Here you can see the fermenter, the huge big fermenter where you can see the baffles here, and here you can see the impellers or agitators can be seen. I have put this diagram just to show how big fermenter can also be designed. So this is the diagrammatic representation of fermenter. Okay, you can keep this in your mind where you should focus on this serration that is through sparger. Okay, holes can be seen in this particular bottom plate. Then this is the agitation by the blade. These blades are known as the impellers. And in this fermenter vessel, there also be a temperature sensor and the control unit will be there. Then cooling water in valve, then cooling water out. Then you can see here the cooling jacket, then biosensor unit, then pH probe to adjust the pH, then dissolved oxygen probe, then culture or nutrient addition, inlet, then sample line valve can be seen. Okay, and this is the harvest line. And this is the inlet for the air in. That is style air will be sent inside through this particular sparger. This plate is known as sparger. And this impeller which will run under the influence of this motor. So in detail, we'll study in the further class about the stirred-tank fermenter. So this is all about introduction to industrial biotechnology, tropophase, idiophase, and quality assurance and packaging. I, Dr. Pratibha K, signing off for the day. Stay tuned with me. I'll be back with some more videos. Thank you everyone for watching this video.